Hey guys, welcome to Appetizing Foods. I hope you're all doing great today. So I'm going to show you how I make my meat pie. And for the stuffing, I'll be using ground beef, 80% lean, 20% fat, half a teaspoon of thyme, 3 seasoning cubes, 2 garlic cloves, 1 onion, 3 carrots, and 1 potato. So let's get started. Yeah, so these are my vegetables chopped. Habanero pepper, grated garlic, onions, and my beef washed. So to get a perfect meat pie, let the meats be the highlight of the dish. So do not use too much of the vegetables. So we're going to start by adding a little amount of oil. You don't need too much oil because the beef contains 2% fat. So when the oil heats up, we're going to start by frying the garlic. Then you're going to add the onion. So now we're going to add the pepper. Oh, my microwave is beeping. Okay. And then you leave to fry for a bit and add one of the seasoning cubes. So now we're going to be adding the beef. So you're going to mix everything together and reduce the heat to medium. So I'm going to just keep checking and stirring until. So I'm going to keep stirring. And then leave it to cook until it's golden brown. So basically I'm frying the beef. When it's golden brown, I just keep stirring to make sure it doesn't get burnt. So just keep stirring. This is the secret to it. Very tasty stuffing. Make sure it's really dry. So you can see the color is becoming brown. So you just keep stirring and checking on it until it's really golden brown. And that's the secret to a very tasty stuffing. So the beef is golden brown now. So I'm going to add the carrots and the potatoes. Look at it. It's really brown. So this is what I'm going for. you're gonna mix and leave it to cook for a couple of minutes before you add water. So I don't add flour to my stuffing. I don't like the taste with flour. All you need to do is make sure it doesn't get too dry at the end, so it doesn't break apart when you make it. So don't bother that it's gonna break apart. It's not gonna break apart. It's gonna bind with the potato and the carrot. So I'm gonna add enough water so the potatoes and the carrots get cooked. Okay, I'm still gonna add more water. So there it is. And I'm gonna cover and let it cook. So it's been cooking for about 15 minutes. I want to take a peek. It's coming together. So I'm still gonna let it cook for another 15 minutes and come back to check on it. So the water is almost dry. I'm gonna add my seasoning cubes. I used the first one because I started with 3 seasoning cubes. So now I'm gonna add remaining 2 seasoning cubes, and then half a teaspoon of the thyme. You can see it's coming together. The potato and the carrots, they are really soft now, so they are binding the beef and everything together. Pretty good. So you can see I did not add flour or any thickener to my stuffing. So I think it's all good to go now. You don't want it too dry. If it's too dry, when you put it in the pie, it's going to break apart. So I'm going to turn off the heat and let the stuffing cool. Hey guys, welcome back. So everything is basically ready to start making the pie. This is the beef, and I'm using 5 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of bouillon seasoning. So I'm not going to be adding salt. I'm going to be using the chicken flavor seasoning. So I'm using 4 eggs, and 3 of the eggs for the meat pie and 1 to glaze the pie. I'm going to be using 3 sticks of butter, and a stick of butter is 8 teaspoons. So 8 times 3 is 24, and half of it, so it's going to be 28 teaspoons of butter. So this is all I'm going to use for this recipe, and then I'm using this to cut the pie so I get a perfect shape. So we're going to start by adding all the dry ingredients to the flour. This is a tablespoon of baking powder, Then I'm gonna add the nutmeg. I'm going to be using half a teaspoon of this seasoning powder, the bouillon seasoning. So when you use this, you don't need to add salt. We're using 3 eggs. The 4th egg is to glaze the meat pie. We're going to add the vanilla to the egg. So after adding the dry ingredients and mixing the flour, I'm going to start by adding the butter. So I'm using 3½ sticks of butter. I'm going to mix. So when the butter is fully incorporated, as you can see, you're going to add the milk. So I'm using 18 of evaporated milk. I'm going to add the egg. I'm going to mix. I still have some milk left. I didn't put the entire cup of milk yet. I'm going to mix and see how it is before I add more. I'm going to add more milk. I put the milk in the fridge to make it cold before I start using it, and the eggs as well. I'm still gonna add more because I use the entire tin of milk for the 5 cups of flour. So here is the dough. So this is the dough. I just have a little amount of milk left in here. So I'm gonna let the dough sit for 30 minutes in the fridge before I get started. Now we're gonna start making the meat pies. I'm gonna split the dough in half. I'll start with half. I'm gonna be spraying the pan. When I want to make bigger sizes of meat pies, I use this one. I'm going to be using this size today. Now this is my oven preheating. I think it's done preheating. So I'm gonna take out the excess, put them together. And stuff the pie. When you're doing this and it begins to stick to the fork, just add more flour to the fork and then continue. So I spray the foil paper with the canola spray, and I'm gonna put the meat pie in here. So I preheated the oven for 350 degrees, and this is the meat pie. So I'm gonna let it bake for 20 minutes and bring it out to glaze. Hi guys, welcome back. This is the meat pie. It's ready. It's so tasty, guys. So thanks for sticking around and watching this video on how I make my meat pie. I hope you try this out. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more amazing appetizing dishes. Bye.